You are listening to the No Invite Podcast.
Season 3.
The progression.
Follow us on Instagram at no_invite_podcast or look us up on YouTube at No Invite Podcast.
The best kept secret.
Bang. We in this thing, No Invite Podcast, Season 3, The Progression, Episode 68. We got Baby Lee in the building. What's happening, bro?
What's the deal, homie? Appreciate you having me.
Man, you all the way out from Texas, right?
Yes, sir. Houston,
Texas, man. And in the Zoom building, because of course, you know what I'm saying, we ain't got the opportunity right now to get you in the studio, but hopefully soon we'll have you out here. Come out to the West Coast. You definitely got to swing by it on your stops, on one of your stops.
Hell yeah, for sure. I've been trying to make my way out there. I got a little invite for like a little mic session type deal. Yeah. And I still kind of, probably this year, I'm probably going to go out there and go fuck with it out there in LA.
We stationed out here in the Bay, man. If you do come out here, come by, come put us on your promo run. We definitely chop it up. Well, the in-house podcasts are a little different than the actual audio Zoom podcast, because these are more interview style. The other ones, we just talk about all kinds of crazy shit. So, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, you know, because you in the building, we got more time. I feel like we could do a little bit more. But how's your New Year treating you so far?
So far, so good. I mean, shit, it got off. It got off. My kids actually had COVID.
Man.
But I mean, they were straight. You know what I'm saying? But they tested positive for that shit, so they got a little extra vacation. That's how we started it off, just at the house bugging.
Man, COVID got more remixes than Puff Daddy right now out there in these streets, man. I hope all y'all as well. That's good, man. Well, at least everybody's cool. You know, everything over here is pretty much the same, man. We've been doing this podcast for a while, and part of it, what we've been trying to do is to make sure we feature artists from all over and give them a platform and bring them to people's attention. And I think I seen you first on either Food Community, was it, or was it Chicanos Worldwide? I think one of those posts, bro, is how I found you, man.
It was probably through the Food Community. Yeah, I think it was actually. I kind of tried to fuck with them twice. Like once, I think it was I think that shit got like deleted, the original one. But I had tried to do. They tried to advertise my shit on there once, and then I backdoored it when they put the new page up there. But I got some pretty good feedback from the second one.
I'm gonna tell you like this, bro. Right away, I follow them. I follow a lot of accounts similar to that, like Chicanos Worldwide, Food Community, Food's Gone Wild, and stuff like that. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I heard that shit. I'm like, yo, this motherfucker really spitting. Like he ain't just like spitting like just regular. This motherfucker really spitting.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Top, man. So you caught my attention. I had to make sure we did something. We definitely, the podcast is one thing. We want to talk about a collab after this. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Just put that Texas to Cali thing together, you know?
Oh, yeah.
We're going to go ahead and jump into these questions, man. And, you know, just so we could give the people more of an idea who you are. How long you been making music?
Man, I used to fuck with it back in the day. Not seriously, but, you know, little homeboys just freestyling, you know, not doing shit off the porch, you know. But I never really tried to jump in there when they was freestyling. I used to kind of be like, man, I would have said this, I could have said that. Yeah. And you know what I'm saying? Kind of kick myself when I get home, like, man, that nigga shit sounded weak. I would have twisted it like this. Yeah. But I want to say in October 2020, we finally got in the studio. Like seriously, like when we was like, I got a couple people in my ear. They put that bug in my ear and they were like, man, I showed them some like old shit I had recorded at like one of my coworkers' house. He used to do the music thing. And he would just, you know, bug me. I used to fuck, you know, people talk shit at work and he'd be like, man, when you gonna jump in the booth and boo boo? Yeah. And one time we went after work, you know, did my thing and he put it up on his YouTube. And that was always my reference when somebody, you know, when we just talk shit, I'd be like, man, listen to this. But I wouldn't tell him it was me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to introduce myself like that. So I just be like, man, check this shit out. What you think about this? And when I get these, you know, they'd be like, man, this shit kind of go hard. And I'd be like, man, that's me. They'd be like, nah, you bullshitting. Because I wouldn't really put myself out there like that. Yeah. So then after a while, I think, like around October, I think a month before that, maybe 2 months before that, I had a little homeboy I used to work with, and he was actually showing me somebody from his neighborhood that rapped. And you know how niggas are at work talking shit. And I told him.
He got it.
Yeah. And I think I shot a slug, and I told him, I said, damn, that's how the boys from your neighborhood coming? I said, man, that shit sound weak. And then, you know, he kind of was just clowning, saying, but what you got? And I played that little track for him. And I ain't gonna lie, man, he stayed in my ear, man, for like 2 months. He wouldn't let up on my ass. You know, he was the one that was kind of like, man, you tripping, man, you out here, you know, not really doing nothing with it when you can. And shit, we actually set something up to where we got a little studio session. And, you know, we went in there and kind of from then we've been kind of trying to figure it out, you know what I'm saying? The learning curve, trying to see what to drive. And we still doing it. I mean, even now, you know, we trying to kind of figure this shit out. Like this, like my first kind of anything, interview, any kind of shit, putting myself out there, you know? But I mean, it's like necessary, you know what I'm saying? Like you got to get out there, because if not, I remember it's like, I had a homeboy tell me, man, you record 1,000 songs and them bitches will stay in your computer, and nobody's ever gonna hear them if you don't put yourself out there. You know, you gotta be a little bit vulnerable and put your shit out there and get the feedback, whether it's good or bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, you're an observant guy, because you was watching and paying attention and studying way before you even jumped into it to actually start rhyming. And yeah, man, it when it comes to the music, man, you definitely gotta. It's like a double-edged sword, man. You know, you want to do it for the craft and for the love, but at the same time, you know, you gotta also want to put it out there, you know, in order for it to see what it does. And you know, people's opinions is gonna be their opinions and shit, but the fact that you're getting good feedback right away is always a good sign, bro. And it's and the feedback that you got from the food community post, because I was reading the comments too, a lot of motherfuckers were saying the same shit. They're like, yo, he got it. So it's good that you took that leap of faith, you know.
Yeah, and that's really the one. That's really the one, because if you fuck around, go to the food, man, they'll slaughter your ass in the comment section. You know what I'm saying? Them niggas won't let up on you.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, whatever it may be, shit, they on your ass. And that's why I told my homeboy, I said, watch, I'm gonna drop this shit. I said, let me see what kind of feedback. I said, because if they slaughter my shit in there, I said, man, that shit gonna kind of, you know, fuck with me a little.
Well, when it comes to the comments, man, you're right, but you can't let that affect you, because a lot of time it just be motherfuckers that are hella salty or hella negative in there. But the fact that you dropped in there and the comments were positive, that right there should let you know, because really, like, you don't really get a lot of positive. You could be the dopest of the dope motherfucker in there and they gonna still talk crazy. You know what I mean? So the fact that you got
something to cap on,
they're gonna find something, bro. It's more comedy, like, you know. I mean, it's funny, but when I read the comments, and I do it for the jokes and the laughs, you know, to listen to what people are saying. But at the end of the day, when I look at the post, I look at the context and I look and see, if it's dope or not, there's this, is that. So yeah, I get it totally, man. Trust me, that shit, they ain't playing in the comments, bro. The comments is undefeated. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Listening to your music, man, listening to where you spit and stuff, man, I could tell that you really on bars, like really, you know, that their emphasis is definitely on lyricism. Who are some of your influences? Like, what in hip hop? Who fucking, you know, who did you listen to? Who did you like? Or, you know, that kind of influenced you in a sense that made you want to feel like, you know what, I could rap this shit, you know? This.
Well, I mean, originally, like my uncles, you know what I'm saying? Like me, I've always been the youngest of the family, right? And my older uncles, they was the one that was really, they was kind of out here before me. So me being a runt and always hanging around with them, is like early on, man, my uncle played the shit out of some Too Short. He just, that's what I came up listening to, like a lot of the West Coast shit, that G-Funk shit, you know, Chronic, you know, all that shit. So eventually when I started going to the schoolhouse, you know, a lot of people down here, they, you know, this screw town, you know what I'm saying? Like,
for sure.
Screw, all that, right? So eventually the music kind of got me leaning towards, I had a homeboy who, this Moreno dog named Donnie. And I remember one time we was riding in the car and he brought up Jay-Z. This was, I hadn't even heard him. And he started going on about, man, this motherfucker rapping his ass off, boo, boo, boo. So he riding shotgun, he starts playing some Jay-Z song, whatever. And right away I was like, damn, this motherfucker putting his words together different. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm used to hearing Scarface, like something different. But when I heard that, I'm like, damn, you know, the rhyme pattern, the bars, everything. And I've always been real heavy into like vocabulary, you know what I'm saying? Like putting my words together, trying to put them together. And I noticed that to me, the ones who kind of influenced me were always like syllable rappers. You know what I'm saying? They put their words together as far as like, it's hard enough, you know, rhyming some shit like cat, hat, you know, whatever, like simple shit. But when you backing them up like 2, 3, you know, I got real heavy into listening to more like rappers that would do shit like that. And I'd be like, man, I could do that shit. I could put the words together and still make them, you know what I'm saying? Put my twist on them. But if you really listen to them, you're gonna be like, damn, that shit rapping all the way through. And I try my best to be like, man, I'm gonna try my best not to take a bar off. Like when I would write shit back then, I'd be like, man, I ain't gonna take a bar off. You know, like I ain't gonna fill it in with no bullshit. I'm gonna try to come one after the other
every time, yeah.
Every time. So if you don't catch one, you might catch the second one and be like, damn, hold on, you know, we're gonna go back with some shit like that. But really, man, I've been fucking with rap heavy like years, dog, since I was a youngster. So I'm talking about shit out of Memphis, like Player Fly, goddamn Pastor Troy out of Georgia, all that old school shit.
Yeah.
I fuck with different people's styles, you know what I'm saying? And even them, their style might be different, but if the bars are there and I listen to them, I'll be like, damn, he talking that shit that's relatable. So, I mean, really influenced by all kinds of shit. Not necessarily one rapper that I listen to and be like, man, because I feel like if you influenced by, like, say if you listen to a certain rapper too much, that shit's gonna come out in your music. You're gonna have no choice but to kind of start sounding a little bit like him because you're just not listening to nothing else. You just focus on that one rapper. So it's gonna be like you a cookie cutter version of what you just stuck to. Yeah. So if you take little pieces from everywhere, shit, you ain't got no choice but to put your own little twist, and you won't come out sounding like. You might get comparisons here and there because I have, you know, like people in my messages, you know, whatever say, hey, you know, you sound like this. I don't hear it personally, but I could see them. They might see it. You know, whatever, and I'll tell them, that's what's up, you know, whatever, but not necessarily like one rapper that just I heard and was like, yeah, this is all me right here. I'm gonna try to sound like this.
Yeah, you got your unique style, bro, and I feel like when it comes to music and your influences, when you listen to a lot of people and a lot of different things, you pull a lot of influences from different places. You actually make, like you said, your own sound out of it. You know, you know, from like you said, from Too Short to Pastor Troy, like, you know, all in between. It's like that right there shows that you got a lot of range in what you're doing, and your sound sounds that way too. Like the way you spit, the vocabulary, the delivery, it sounds like you're a student of the game. You know what I mean? Like you've really studied not only just listening to the music, but you studied the bars and how people put their things together. And that's pretty dope, man. I heard you was doing sports for a while, man. You know what I mean? So you nice with the basketball still or what?
Hey, man, you better ask Bobby. Nah, when I was coming up, that was my thing. In the neighborhood, that was my thing, man, was the basketball shit. You know what I'm saying? I used to walk all around that motherfucker with my basketball, just me and my basketball, you know what I'm saying? And I was lucky enough that when I got to high school, that shit was, you know, that I played ball for the schoolhouse, you know what I'm saying? And even then, you know, that's kind of in the schoolhouse, I was still getting my little shine on, you know, as far as the sports thing. And even in the neighborhood, like I said, that's everybody late night at the park, I'll be out there shooting, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody fucking with me because niggas from the neighborhood shit. They know what I'm trying to do. They trying to, you know, they be like, oh shit, he just hooping shit.
He's into his ball, he into ball right now.
Let him stick to his ball, you know what I'm saying? Until it didn't, you know. Yeah, when I got out of high school and I seen that shit kind of, you know, fizzled out. But even to this day, you know, I now I don't necessarily go hoop as much, but shit, I got my little boys, you know what I'm saying? I try to show them, but yeah, I mean, that shit didn't pan out for me, but I still fuck with sports heavy. That's why I said, you know, a lot of my rap shit, I'm throwing something in that bitch. Yeah, I keep it with everything, the football, the basketball, you know.
Some references in there to all that.
Yeah, got to.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I don't know, you know, life has twists and turns and stuff like that. What we set out doesn't exactly doesn't mean that that's where we're gonna end up, you know. So the you know, the music, I'll keep real with you. The music for you is where it's at, man. That's you know, if ain't nobody else told you, I know your folks told you already, but that's where you should really keep your focus on, because it's different. You're not like the average rapper, you know, which is a good thing, you know. Especially me, I'm a student of the game as well, and I listen to all kinds of stuff from the east to the west to down south and all points in between, underground, mainstream, and I'm the same way. I'm just observant, watching, listening how people put their words together, how they craft their songs, and definitely the music's where your focus is at for sure. I have another question for you. I asked all the guests here, and I just wanted to get your take. Ain't no right or wrong answer, you know, it's all perspective. What do you think is more important when it comes to music, style or substance?
I think a little bit of both. You know what I'm saying? That you could have a cold style, you know what I'm saying? But if you really ain't talking about shit, hey, but you know, the style might get you alone. It might get you, just take you off. You really ain't got to be talking about shit. But if you got that style, you talking that shit. You got certain rappers that came in here with their own style and shit. That's what took them off. And then you got other rappers who, you know, they talking some shit that you could relate to. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Most people, when they hear a good beat, you know, like a good style, say like a trap beat, man, shit. A lot of people ain't really gonna be say like, just for an example, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people maybe never so dope, but shit, let the right beat hit and let him be talking about all that shit. They ain't talking about the substance. They right there bumping that shit, you know? And that goes towards the style. So it might work for some people. And then you got other people who want to listen to actually listen. And they might be like, well, shit, he talking about some shit I can relate to. That's more substance, you know? But I think it all depends on the rapper. You know, like if the rapper wants, it's the type of music he wants to put out, you know? And I think me personally, I think people gravitate more towards, like nowadays, especially the character of the rapper. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to dig a little bit deeper. That's why I think shit like this is important, because when they hear you talk, when they hear you speak, you know, they're going to judge for themselves, you know, if you know, if you're authentic or not. You know, they're going to kind of get an idea in their head, be like, well, shit, he must be talking that shit, you know, because he went through it or, you know, what have you. But I think it's a little bit of both. I don't think it's necessary. It's good to have both, actually, a little bit of style and a little bit of substance.
I agree. I feel like they're both important. Style, I feel like is good because you got to kind of, you know, have that flavor for people to actually want to, you know, just vibe to you. Every song doesn't necessarily got to be real deep or have a real underlying message, but it is good for it to have, you know, but sometimes you just want to have fun. Like Short, he's a lot of style. He got substance because he has a lot of stuff to say, but his style alone will get you. You could listen to a Short song where he not really saying much. He could say like a few things, but that shit go crazy.
Yeah, so, and then you got songs like The Ghetto. My bad, I'm gonna cut you off. Then you got songs like The Ghetto by Too Short, nigga.
Exactly, talking that shit, and that's real life, and it's substance, and he rhyming on that motherfucker. And that's the thing. To me, my thing is that substance. I feel like substance will carry you farther. Like it stands the test of time. If you're only, you have to have both, in my opinion. But if you only focus on one thing, you might miss out. Like, you know, like people sometimes get caught up in the moment. They're all style and nothing else. And then that styles come and go, you know what I mean? Shit fades, shit changes and stuff. So if that's all it is, then, you know, it might not have that longevity like it would if you had some substance to go with it, you know?
And then, I mean, shit, you got to think about the shit that you're going to go through different shit. So, you know, the substance is going to change with you, with the person. So if you come out, like you said, dog, the style going to fade out. You know what I'm saying? There's been a lot of shit that came out in rap in the last couple of years. And it hits for a while. And then that shit just kind of, you know, you got everything from conscious rap, emo rap, trap rap. You know, you got all kinds of shit. There's something for everybody. But the substance, man, you could talk about some shit you're going through, you know, in life and shit. If you could put it together right, man, people gonna fuck with it because the chances are that they're probably going through the same shit.
And it's universal, you know, whenever you're relatable, and you got substance, people relate to that and they want to join you on that journey. Like, for instance, how you said this situation right here is important. People nowadays, they want to know about their artists that they listen to. So having interviews, doing podcasts and things like that, it's a way for them to get that other perspective that they didn't just get. You know, they like the music. It starts with the music, but they also want to know what's the substance, what's behind that, you know, who's the person and what they're about, you know. So it like I said, ain't no right or wrong answer. I feel like me personally, a balance of both is very important. So you know, that's good. You know what I mean? What are your I have another question for you. What are some of the obstacles that Latino rapper faces today in this industry? Because, you know, it's you know what I mean? I feel like as Latin artists, bro, we're still breaking into it in a sense. Like we're getting there, but we're starting to now finally get looked at like, okay, he's rapping his ass off, or he's fucking dope, or not. He's not just dope because he's dope for a Mexican, or he's dope for, you know, Peruvian, or whatever the case might be. You dig what I'm saying? Like, what do you think are some of the obstacles though that we still face right now?
Shit, I think when you say, like, in my instance, say you come out as a Mexican rapper, you already jumping into a game that, even though Latinos, dog, they've been in that bitch from the jump, right?
From the jump.
B-boy and all that shit, graffiti, like they've been there from the jump. But I think the stars early on, how they were predominantly black, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They see it as it's a black culture. They see you kind of like as a guest, you know? So if you could come and, you know, rap your ass off, like you said, you kind of already got to win. It's hard enough winning other people over. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They're going to be like, well, shit, you just a guest in this game. But amongst Latinos, I think, me personally, I think it's other Latinos as far as like, everybody want to be the one. Everybody want to be the one that they're going to say, like you said, everybody's trying to break through, right? So when you see somebody doing their thing, the next one might be like, man, fuck that. I got to be me. You know what I'm saying? And then I think a lot of people from the outside looking in, I think that they don't understand that within, like, say, the Mexican culture, dog, there's a culture within the culture. You feel me? And then on top of that, you got to take the culture from the state you coming from. Feel me? Shit, Cali got their culture, Texas got their culture, but shit, right away, like even them pages you brought up, I think that's a big obstacle, because if you look in the comment section, these motherfuckers just going back and forth, talking about Texas this, Cali that, you know, they just at each other's neck. And it really is just the people in the comments, you know what I'm saying? Not necessarily
the vibe on the street.
Shit, it's just the people that you know, because the people that are doing it, I remember, you know, like say South Park Mexican, like, man, all them allegations aside, just music shit. I remember I heard Baby Bash through South Park Mexican. Shit, even when he was fucking with Kid Frost out there on the West Coast, Gold Toes from the Bay, right? Gold Toes from the Bay, shit coming down to Texas, you know, early on. And that right there, I feel like it was more on some player shit, like, hey, come on, dog, like, you know, we gonna get this money together. And I think it takes for you to reach out and not necessarily be like on some, because my state got to be the one that's gonna put me through that. And I think it's gonna take a certain type of artist to actually, when you do get out there, to do shit like reach out and be like, nah, ain't no, you know, we got the same goal, dog. Because if you really on some player shit, if you really about the music or whatever type of goal you're trying to reach, shit, there's gonna be motherfuckers out there just like you. They ain't gonna be like, oh shit, old boys from Cali, nah, I ain't fucking with them, because whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I think the biggest obstacle is amongst each other, because once we champion for each other, to be like, man, fuck that. That's, hey, I don't care where he's from. He could be from out there, but if he getting busy, shit, hey, dog, it could be you can introduce him to other people from where you from and be like, shit, look, you heard this boy from Cali? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like little shit like that. And I think that's right now, that's our biggest hurdle to get over, because then it's amongst the younger people. I think they hipped up to it to be like, hey man, if you go to these shows, man, it's a lot of raza in the crowd. You know what I'm saying? They're the ones buying the merch. They're the ones showing up to the pop-ups. You feel me? They're the ones spending money. But when there's one of them on stage, you know, they quick to kind of be like, well, shit, hold on. You know, I'd rather go fuck with this other person. But I think they peep game, and they were like, shit, now, back then you wouldn't see all the Mexican flags in the videos. You wouldn't see none of that. You know what I'm saying? And now, shit, there's a lot of raza out here in the United States, you know? So when they see somebody doing it, I think they need to just, you know, champion for him. You know what I'm saying? Because he could fuck around and bring the next one. Hey, bring him to the limelight, you know? Yeah. And if it's just like, nah, I got to be the one to get out here and I got to be the one to hold the shine, then nah, shit ain't going to work for nobody. You're going to stay local. You're going to put yourself in that little bubble and you ain't going to be able to bust out that bitch.
Yeah. Most definitely, yeah. I give the younger generation a lot of credit, because they are bringing that pride to the forefront. And you're right, man. Like, it be our own people in the comments fucking us up the most. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it really is the main obstacle is ourselves. I feel like we're getting a lot of respect from outside now, which we weren't. We're getting more acknowledgement, you know, as far as the artistry, and people are realizing that we do have something to say, and we have real artists, you know what I mean? Like, it's not, I don't look at it like, oh, we're this, we're that, we're this, we're that. I know I'm Mexicano. I know what I represent, and I know who my gente are, and I make music for everyone, you know, and especially my people, but I make it for everyone as well. And it's dope to see when, you know, you get a raza from different states and different parts of your state, and they actually fuck with you and they tap in and they actually, like you said, they support. And I think with artists like you and other artists that are coming out right now, that's the main thing. I think it's like, it shows that we have all kinds of diversity within our culture and within this rap culture. And there's very much different types of styles and different types of artists, and everybody should rally around the next person up. You know, they always should keep that player mentality. It don't matter what state you're from or whatever. If you're dope and your music is right, because that's at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. It's about the music. The music's how they're gonna get to know you. But it's good to see people champion and rally around. And I feel like nowadays the tide is definitely turning. You know, it's turning into something different. Tell me about something you got going on right now. What's your latest project? What's your latest song that you got out right now that you pushing?
I dropped a single yesterday. It's because the thing with me is I have a lot of shit. Like, I have songs recorded. I got them tucked away. But I think at the time, I'm my biggest critic, right? So when I record a song, I'll listen to a couple a couple times, you know, I got people in my ear telling me, man, you need to put that out. You need to put this. But then the more I listen to the song, I'm like, nah, I could have flipped it a little bit better. I could have said this. I could have came like this, you know. And I think even though we've been doing it maybe for like a little over a year, I think I can still improve, right? So my whole thing is like, nah, well, shit, let me knock these songs out to the point when I come out. And I do this year I want to drop an EP, but I want to drop a solid EP, you know, just something that's from the front to the end, you know, something that sounds good, that sounds, you know, uniform together. So I'm actually talking to here a producer from Houston, and you know, I recorded to a couple of his tracks, you know, and him, like you said, just, you know, off the love, he told me the same thing. You know, he's in a certain type of music, and he was like, man, we put out an EP together, man, you could record to these, I ain't charging you shit. Well, you know, you verse for, you know, little shit like that, just off the love, but reaching out, you know. And I told him, he's the one that I told, hey, well, you know what, shit, I said we put an EP together, you know, I said we put it right, and get a little project, put it out there. And I mean, that's really, and for the meantime, just dropping singles until we knock that out, you know, and try to do and like I said, it's still the learning curve, you know, learning the promo, learning to get out there, you know, 'cause sometimes you'll put shit out there and it'll just kind of fizzle out. And then you kind of think of like, well, shit, what I could have done better, you know? So this year, I think we're going to kind of amp it up a little bit and just, you know, do the merch. We're going to try to jump into the merch thing, try to do, you know, little shit that kind of, the visual. I was actually supposed to film a visual this month, but it's probably going to start the beginning of next month. But I mean, just keep going and hopefully keep dropping singles and see, you know, the reaction from the people. And like I said, maybe take a little trip out there, get more out there doing things like this, like the interviews, the mic sessions, you know, things like that. I've actually, like a couple, you know, people like have reached out to me here locally in Houston and been like, well, you don't want to perform at this show? And I always tell them, I'll be like, nah, not yet. You know, I'll be like, I know performance is a big part of it, but it's like you said, you know, I'm a student of the game. I go to these pop-ups, I go to these shows, you know, I'll be in the crowd just, you know, just keeping game, seeing how they get down, seeing what the people react to, seeing what they don't react to. And shit, I'll take that with me and, you know, go to the crib and be like, shit, they wasn't fucking with that, you know? Yeah, so most definitely. Try to put all that into a little bit more like, so you still, it's my shit, my own style, try to put it out there, see what the people fuck with.
That's dope, man. You definitely are in the process of putting your formula together, in other words. You know what I mean? You want to make sure that everything that you do lands on point as far as up to your standards and stuff. And I'm sure them songs are dope. I'm pretty sure that if you play them for people, they'll be like, yo, these are ready to go now. But the fact that you have a quality and a vision for yourself, man, that's important. And just don't be a prisoner of that, because I call it being a prisoner of perfection. Sometimes we have a certain vision and we want to keep working and we keep working. And next thing you know, a lot of time passes and, you know, it's because we're so critical of ourselves that we don't allow ourselves to give people the art, you know, and that's what it is. It's art, bro. And people want it now. I mean, with everything, they want a consistent diet of it. So I'm sure that when you're ready and you turn the faucet on, you're going to be able to give them all that. So that's dope. You know, this is the No Invite podcast, man. You're always going to be welcome here at any time. Anytime you got something to promo, you got a video, you in the area, you in California or whatever the case, we could Zoom, you could pull up. This platform, I created it for artists like yourself and like myself. I got tired of people complaining, saying that these platforms don't show them love or there's not enough of this for our people or for people in general, up and coming artists. So I didn't want to be that guy complaining on the internet. What I did is like, we got to be self-reliant, man. We got to be out here. There's too much opportunity for us. So instead of me being a complainer, I'm like, you know what? Let me start a platform. Let me build it up myself. And let me offer this platform to other artists, entrepreneurs, businessmen, aspiring, whatever, you know, somebody, if you're out there trying to get further, especially when it comes to our people, the platform is open. It's called No Invite Podcast. That's because it's an open door policy. You really don't need an invite. You could just holler at me whenever you're ready and we could put it together. With that being said, man, give people, you want any shout outs and stuff like that? And also give people where they could reach you, where they could find your music.
Music on Spotify, DFD Baby Lee, Apple, all the streaming platforms, they'll be under, you know, DFD Baby Lee. And I mean, the Instagram, I think I had Man, I need to check this shit out because I don't have it under that shit. I have it under something else. It's Baby Lee _DFD. And I mean, I got the links in there, you know, for anybody that want to check out the music, come, you know, swing by. But I mean, shit, I appreciate it, dog. I mean, when I first started talking to you and I went back and saw when we started messaging and I saw the podcast, I sat down, I listened to him, and I mean, shit, y'all got it, man. Because I see a lot of guys,
you know what I'm saying?
Shit, hey, you gotta have, because you gotta have a mouthpiece. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta have the conversation to keep going. You know what I'm saying? And I check out the podcast. I'm like, yeah, they talking that shit. That shit don't fizzle out. You know what I'm saying? And that's to me, that's the formula of a good podcast. You know, that's why I told, you know, my people, I was like, man, I'm gonna do this little like interview / podcast thing. I told them, I said, I'm gonna fuck with this dude from Cali. I said, but they got it, you know. I listen to dudes here like local, and sometimes I'm just sitting there and I'm like, man, I don't think I could sit there with old boy, you know, because he ain't really talking about shit. He ain't really whatever. And I'm be like, nah, that shit don't. So I mean, shit, thank you, dog, for real. For you know, I appreciated me doing the first time doing this, you know, something like this. And, you know, next time for sure, nigga, shit, we you know, we link up. We in there already.
It's just the beginning, man. Trust me, we finna get more work done, man. It's always like I've been trying to do something with you. I said from the moment I heard, I already knew. I was like, yo, he got it, period. We got to lock in, do something right now before, you know, he take off and it costs too much. You know what I'm saying?
Never that shit. That's it.
Nah, man.
That's it. Right here with shit like this, I'm real big on that. That's why I said, like, even that the dude from here, I'm big on shit like that because I know what it is, you know. And I've had talks with like even people out there. I had some guy out there from Cali too. We were reaching out, same thing. He wanted to work. And I told him, I said, man, I get shit. You know, you showing love. I said, man, you get it on the free ball, dog. I said, it ain't really about me. You know, I said, whatever. I said, you show me love. I said, nigga, whenever you ready, him and his peoples, I said, man, you shoot that shit to me. And, man, I'll get that bitch right back to you. Ain't gonna be no funny bunny shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing like that. And with shit like this, with the, you know, just along with the invite shit, we tapped in, fool.
Off top, man, and I appreciate you, like I said, bro. Thank you for everything. Thank you for taking the time out to come fuck with us. We're definitely gonna be hearing more from you. Like I said, you put this on your promo rotation whenever you got something to promote. Make sure that you come by and you drop it on us. We appreciate you, man. No Invite Podcast Season 3, The Progression. This is episode 68. I'm Blaze. You can find us at RiBirth Media Films on Instagram. That's RiBirth Media Films with a Z. You could also follow us on Instagram at no_invite_podcast. You could also go to all your favorite podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, to find us. You know, just type in No Invite Podcast. We got DFD, Baby Lee in the building, man. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it so much. We definitely gonna be in contact, man. We out.